Start of story. You have walked through corridors of silence where the only sound was the rhythm of your own heartbeat, a heartbeat that often felt too heavy for your chest. I have watched you, my precious daughter, in those moments when the world outside was loud with the laughter of children and the pride of growing families, while you retreated into the shadows of your own longing. I know the weight of the air in your bathroom, the cold touch of the tile against your knees when you could no longer stand under the burden of another disappointment. I was there when you stared at the small plastic stick, waiting for a sign that never came, watching the minutes tick by until hope felt like a cruel joke. I saw the way you wiped your eyes quickly before stepping back into the light, putting on a face of strength for a world that does not understand the depth of your desert. It is not a small thing, this ache. It is a hunger of the soul, a primal cry for the manifestation of the love I poured into your spirit. When you walk through the park and see a mother brushing the hair of her toddler, I feel the sharp intake of your breath. I feel the phantom weight in your arms where a child should be. I know the sting of the questions asked by well-meaning friends, and the even sharper sting of the silence from those who do not know what to say. You have felt abandoned in this journey, as if the heavens were bronze and my ears were closed to the most desperate plea of your life. But I tell you now, with the voice of the Father who fashioned your very frame, not a single tear you have shed has fallen to the earth unnoticed. I have gathered them all. They are not lost in the void. They are seeds planted in the soil of my providence. In the moments when you felt most alone, I was sitting beside you on that cold floor. I was the stillness in the room when you couldn't find the words to pray anymore. I heard the prayers that were only sighs, the intercessions that were only groans of why and how long. You thought I was distant because the answer had not yet arrived, but I was never closer. I was sustaining the very breath you used to weep. I have seen you fold the tiny clothes you bought in a moment of high hope, only to tuck them away in a drawer like a secret grief. I have seen you avoid the aisle of the grocery store where the diapers are kept, because the sight of them is a reminder of what is missing. But listen to me now, for I am the God of the impossible and the author of life. The barrenness you see is not a final sentence. It is the canvas upon which I am preparing to paint a masterpiece of my glory. You have felt empty, yes, but that emptiness was a space I was guarding. I am the one who opens and shuts the womb, and I have not forgotten the promise I whispered to your heart in the secret places. Your womb is not a place of death. It is a garden currently in its winter, waiting for the precise moment when my breath will command the spring. The delay has not been a denial. It has been a preparation. I am preparing the soil of your spirit to carry a miracle that will not only change your life, but will be a testimony to all who have doubted my power. I see the way you look in the mirror and see a body you feel has failed you. I want you to look again through my eyes. I do not see failure. I see a vessel of incredible strength. I see a woman who has endured the refiner's fire and has not been consumed. I see a mother whose heart has already expanded to hold a love so vast it can encompass the child I am bringing to you. The sorrow of the bathroom floor was a sanctuary where I was stripping away every reliance on human strength, so that when the miracle comes, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that it was my hand that did it. I have been holding your hand in the dark. I have been the one whispering, not yet when you were crying, now, because I know the end from the beginning, and I know the perfect timing for the joy that is about to burst forth. Why the wait? Why the tears? Because the testimony of the barren womb is one of the greatest songs of my faithfulness. When I turn your mourning into dancing, the world will see that I am the restorer. I am the God who remembers Sarah in her old age, who remembers Hannah in her bitterness of soul, and who remembers you in your quiet bathroom. Your womb is being prepared even now. I am aligning the heavens and the earth for the moment of conception, both spiritual and physical. I am making room for a life that will carry a specific purpose, a child who is already known to me, already named in my book. Do not cast away your confidence. The ache you feel is the echo of the life that is coming. The tears you have sown in secret are about to be reaped in shouts of joy. I am standing in your future, beckoning you forward. I am your father, and I delight in giving good gifts to my children. The silence is ending. The preparation is almost complete. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Even now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? My hands, which stretched out the curtains of the heavens, are now folded over your life in a posture of deep and intricate labor. Do not mistake the quietness of the process for my absence, for I am never more active than when I am working in the secret places. I am the great architect, the master weaver who sat beside the loom when you yourself were but a thought in my heart. Do you remember the story I wrote for you? I am the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, choosing the color of your eyes, the cadence of your laugh, and the very number of hairs upon your head. I was there in the darkness of your own beginning, and I am here now, in the sanctuary of your longing, beginning the work again. I am the same designer, and I have not lost my touch. I am currently working on the masterpiece of your future child, drawing from the same well of infinite creativity that birthed the galaxies. Every strand of DNA, every unique gift, and every spark of personality is being carefully selected by my hand. I'm not merely making a human being. I am fashioning a miracle that will carry my breath into a new generation. You have looked at your body and seen a desert, but I look at you and see a garden in its winter season. Winter is not the end of life. It is the preparation for the bloom. Underneath the frozen ground of your waiting, I am nourishing the soil. I am the one who sets the sun in its place and commands the moon to mark the seasons. And I tell you today that my timing is not a delay. It is a divine synchronization. There are appointments I have made for this child that you cannot yet see. There are people they must meet, lives they must touch, and a purpose they must fulfill that requires them to arrive at the exact moment of my choosing. If I gave you the promise too soon, the world would not be ready for the light they carry. If I gave it too late, the harvest would be lost. Trust in the rhythm of my grace. I am aligning the orbits of your life with the destiny I have carved out for this little one. You feel the weight of the years, but I hold eternity in my palm, and to me, your waiting is but the indrawing of a breath before a great shout. I am refining your faith because this child will need a mother who knows the sound of my voice in the dark. I am strengthening your spirit because you are being prepared to raise a giant slayer, a world changer, a carrier of my presence. This child is not meant to be ordinary, and therefore, their origin cannot be common. Their life will be a testament to the fact that I am the God who breathes upon the dry bones until they live. I am the God who speaks to the barren place and says, "Sing, O childless one." My fingers are moving even now, weaving the blueprint of a soul that will call you mother. I am adjusting the spiritual climate around you, clearing away the thorns of bitterness and the weeds of comparison to make a soft place for this life to land. You are not a forgotten vessel. You are a chosen tabernacle. The same power that raised my son from the grave is the power that is even now quickening your mortal body. I am the restorer of all things. I am the designer who never makes a mistake and the father who never breaks a promise. Look up, my beloved, and see the horizon. The dawn is not just coming, it has already begun to break. The masterpiece is being finished. The synchronization is complete. The womb that was called barren shall be called blessed, for I have remembered you, and my hand is upon you for good. The wait was never about my inability, but about the magnitude of the glory I am about to reveal through you. Your arms will not be empty forever, for I, the Lord, have spoken it, and I will bring it to pass. The world has given you a label, a diagnosis that feels like a heavy chain wrapped around your heart, but I am the one who gives you a name. I have heard the echoes of the consultation rooms, the sterile air thick with the scent of antiseptic and the weight of finality. I have seen you sit across from voices that spoke in decimals, percentages, and probabilities, voices that looked at your history and saw only a closed door. They have told you that time is a thief, that your biological clock is a relentless judge, and that the window of your opportunity is narrowing to a sliver. They speak of ovarian reserves and hormonal imbalances as if they were the final arbiters of your destiny. But I ask you this, my beloved daughter, who laid the foundations of the earth, who commanded the light to shine out of the abyss. I am not a god of percentages. I am the God of the impossible. I do not look at a sonogram to determine what is possible. I look at my own heart to see what I have already decreed. The biological clock that haunts your dreams is a mechanism of my own design, and I am the master of its gears. I can stretch a moment into an eternity, and I can make the autumn of your life bloom with the sudden, fierce freshness of spring. Do not be intimidated by the ink on a medical chart or the weary sighs of the experts. These are but observations of the physical, while I am the architect of the supernatural. I hold the keys to every gateway within your body. I am the one who created the very cells they study under microscopes. I saw the first cell divide at the beginning of time, and I am the one who directs the dance of life within you now. Every hormone, every follicle, every hidden pathway of your reproductive system is under my jurisdiction. I am even now moving through the microscopic landscapes of your being, smoothing the way and clearing the obstructions that man says are permanent. I am rewiring the pathways of your hope. I know the fear that rises when the phone rings with test results, the trembling in your hands as you wait for a sign that hasn't yet come. I have bottled every tear you shed in the quiet of the bathroom, every groan of your spirit that had no words. But I tell you, those tears are the rain that is watering the seed I am planting in your secret place. I am the great physician, and I need no instruments of glass or steel to perform my wonders. My breath is the catalyst for creation. I am the God of Sarah, who laughed at the impossible until her laughter became a nursery rhyme. I am the God of Hannah, who moved my heart with the sheer honesty of her sorrow until her barrenness was swallowed up by a song. I am the God of Elizabeth, who proved that age is no barrier to the Ancient of Days. I have not changed. My power has not diminished. My authority transcends the laws of nature because I am the one who wrote them. Where the world sees a no, I see a not yet. Where they see a dead end, I am building a bridge. I am the restorer of your youth and the reviver of your dreams. Cast off the garment of the patient and put on the mantle of the expectant mother. You are not a statistic. You are my chosen tabernacle. I am adjusting the spiritual and physical climate of your life to sustain the weight of the glory that is coming. The world speaks of limitations, but I speak of horizons. They look at what is missing. I look at what I am about to add. Your womb is not a place of mourning, but a sanctuary of life in waiting. Trust not in the instruments of man, but in the hands that formed you in your own mother's womb. I am the one who knit you together, and I am the one who will knit another life within you. The silence of the nursery is about to be broken by a cry that will silence every doubt you ever carried. I am the Lord, and I do not lie. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning of this child's journey and the one who will see it through to the end. Rest in the shadow of my wings, for the God who commands the stars to shine is now commanding your body to align with my promise. The report of the Lord is the only report that stands forever, and my report says you are fruitful, you are blessed, and you are about to see the miracle you thought was lost. Now, my beloved daughter, as you stand on the foundation of my report, I invite you to pause in the stillness of my presence. Exhale. I want you to feel the physical release as you let go of the breath you have been holding, the breath of silent cries, of stifled disappointments, and of the heavy, lingering weight of waiting. I am placing my hands upon your shoulders, those shoulders that have carried the burden of not yet for far too long. I invite you to exhale the tension that has made its home there. Let it go. Let the tightness in your neck and the clenching in your heart dissolve in the warmth of my love. You have lived in a state of high alert, your body braced for another negative word, another month of mourning, another reminder of what is missing. But I am here to tell you that your womb is not a place of stress. It is not a clinical experiment, it is not a biological deadline, and it is not a site of failure. Your womb is a place of peace. It is a sanctuary I have designed for the intersection of the divine and the human. Even now, I am clearing the thorns of worry that have grown thick around your spirit. These thorns, the sharp edges of clinical labels, the stinging reminders of passing time, and the briars of comparison that pierce you when you see others cradling their miracles, I am uprooting them one by one. I am the divine gardener, and I know that a tender seed cannot thrive in soil that is choked by the thorns of anxiety. Worry is a thief that drains the soil of the very peace required for life to take root. I am reaching into the hidden corners of your mind to remove the what-ifs that have kept you awake in the night. I am clearing away the debris of past hurts and the rocks of doubt that have hardened your heart. I am making the soil of your spirit ready for the seed. See it now. I am tilling the ground of your soul with my gentleness. I am breaking up the fallow ground with the soft rain of my spirit. I am making you soft, receptive, and fertile. For life does not spring from a place of striving, it springs from a place of rest. I want you to redefine your identity in this moment. You are not a woman struggling with a problem. You are a daughter resting in a promise. The world tells you to work harder, to try more, to fix what is broken. But I tell you to be still and know that I am God. I am the one who knit you together, and I am the one who is preparing the tapestry for another life. I am clearing the atmosphere within you, removing the static of fear and replacing it with the symphony of my peace. This peace is your protection. It is the climate in which your miracle will grow. As you exhale, imagine the thorns being gathered and cast into the fire of my love, where they can never sting you again. The soil is becoming rich, dark, and full of the nutrients of my grace. I am adding the warmth of my presence to the depths of your being, creating a hallowed space where life will be nurtured in safety and quietness. Do not be afraid of the silence, for in the silence I am doing my greatest work. In the quietness of the soil, the seed begins its journey. I am clearing the way for the joy that is coming, a joy that will be all the sweeter because of the peace you found in the waiting. You are my garden, my beloved, and I am tending to you with a father's meticulous care. Every breath you take in my presence is a step toward your miracle. Every moment of rest is an act of faith. Trust the hands of the gardener. The thorns are gone, the soil is ready, and the seed of my promise is finding its home in you. I am smoothing out the wrinkles of your soul, smoothing the path before you, and preparing you for a weight of glory you cannot yet fathom. This is the hour of your transition from the desert to the garden. The thorns were a season, but the fruit is forever. I am breathing into your cells, bringing a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that acts as a sentinel at the door of your heart. No longer will the reports of the world disturb your internal rest. I am sealing the garden of your womb with my own hand, declaring it holy and ready. The soil is not just prepared, it is sanctified. You are not just ready, you are chosen. The silence is not empty, it is pregnant with my power. Stay here in this peace until it becomes the very air you breathe. And as you breathe this air of peace, let it exhale the anxiety that has gripped your heart, concerning the substance of this life. I see the secret ledgers you keep in the quiet of the night, the calculations you make under the weight of flickering shadows, and the way your heart tightens when you look at the world's rising costs. You have asked, in the softest corners of your mind, how can I sustain what I am praying for? You have looked at the price of medical interventions, the cost of a cradle, and the long road of a child's future, and you have felt a different kind of barrenness, a fear that your hands are too small to hold the weight of the blessing. But I say to you now, do not let the arithmetic of man limit the abundance of your Creator. I am not a God of scarcity, and my promises are never underfunded. I am Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who sees and the Lord who provides. My name is not merely a title to be studied. It is a covenant to be lived. When I spoke the world into being, I did not create the birds before I created the air for them to fly in, nor did I create the fish before I prepared the depths of the sea. I always prepare the environment for the life I intend to sustain. If I am preparing your womb, I am also preparing your storehouse. Do not allow the reports of the world or the balance of your accounts to dictate the boundaries of my power. You have spent much, perhaps, on the pursuit of this miracle, on doctors, on tests, on treatments that promised much but delivered little. I have seen every receipt, every sacrifice, and every penny sown in the soil of your hope. I am the restorer of all things, and I tell you that the resources you require are not hidden from me. I do not call you to a journey for which I have not already provided the map and the rations. The provision follows the purpose. Just as the manna appeared only when my people stepped into the wilderness, so shall your provision appear in the moment of its necessity. You do not need the gold for the child's 10th year while the child is yet a seed in my hand. You need only to trust that the God who fashioned the seed owns the field, the rain, and the harvest. I am opening the windows of heaven over your household. I am whispering to hearts you do not know, moving circumstances you cannot see, and aligning opportunities that have not yet been birthed. You will find that as the life within you grows, so too will the supply around you. There is a logic in my kingdom that defies the economics of the earth. In my kingdom, giving is receiving, and a child is never a debt. A child is an inheritance of pure increase. Do not look at your current bank of resources and assume they are the limit of what can be. I am the God who multiplied the widow's oil until there were no more jars to contain it. I am the God who fed 5,000 with a boy's small offering. Your little is the perfect seed for my much. When that child is placed in your arms, you will not look at them with the eyes of a debtor, wondering how to pay for their existence. You will look at them with the eyes of a steward, marveling at how I have poured out the means to care for them. I will provide the clothes to cover them, the food to nourish them, and the roof to shelter them. I will provide for the medical needs that have felt like mountains in your path. I am smoothing the road of your finances just as I am smoothing the soil of your soul. You will lack nothing. This is my seal upon you. The same hand that knits the child in the womb is the hand that holds the keys to every treasury in heaven and earth. Rest your mind from the labor of worrying. Your work is to believe. My work is to provide. The river of my provision is beginning to flow toward your home, and it will not run dry. As the life arrives, the resources will surge. You are entering a season where your testimony will not only be, I have a child, but I have a God who lacks nothing, and because of him, I lack nothing too. Trust me with the numbers, for I have numbered the hairs on your child's head before they have even grown. I am your source, your shield, and your exceeding great reward. Because I am your exceeding great reward, I am also the only one who truly understands the silence of your home and the heavy atmosphere of your waiting room. I know the quiet sting that pierces your heart when you see another announcement, another celebration, or another milestone achieved by those around you while you feel anchored in a season of stillness. You have watched friends become parents, and then parents of many, while you still hold a promise that has not yet taken breath. I have seen you sit in the back of the room at baby showers, wearing a smile that masks 1,000 unspoken questions, and a heart that feels like it might break under the weight of the congratulations you offer to others. I have watched you walk away from family gatherings, where the conversation revolved around growth you have yet to experience, feeling like a ghost in your own circle, wondering if your name has been skipped on the list of blessings. Do not believe the lie that you have been forgotten or that the world has moved on without you. You are not being left behind. You are being set apart for a glory that requires a deeper foundation. There is a sacred difference between being ignored and being hidden for a specific, divine purpose. In this waiting room, where the silence feels heavy and the shadows of comparison loom large, I am standing closer to you than your own breath. I am your closest companion, the one who does not need words to understand the depth of your longing or the complexity of your grief. While others celebrate their harvests, I am tending to the secret, subterranean garden of your soul, ensuring that when your fruit finally comes, it will be sustained by roots that go deeper than any you have ever known. I am filling the empty spaces in your heart, those hollow places carved out by disappointment and the feeling of being overlooked by man, with a love that is unconditional, absolute, and unshakable. I am teaching you that your value is not found in your fruitfulness or your ability to keep pace with your peers, but in your eternal identity as my beloved daughter. I want you to know the fullness of my presence before you know the fullness of your womb, so that when the child arrives, they do not become the source of your joy, but a magnificent overflow of it. If the child were to fill the void first, you would forever fear losing them as if losing them meant losing yourself. But if I fill you first, you will stand unshakable, a mother whose peace is not dependent on her circumstances, but on her Creator. I see the tears you shed when you scroll through the digital lives of others, feeling the vast distance between their reality and your request. Stop measuring your progress by their milestones. My clock does not tick according to the rhythms of this world, nor does it obey the biological anxieties of man. I am the architect of time, and I am weaving a tapestry for you that requires a specific kind of patience to appreciate. You are not a late bloomer. You are a masterwork in progress, a masterpiece that cannot be rushed. This isolation you feel is not a prison sentence. It is a sanctuary of preparation. It is here, in this perceived loneliness, that I am whispering the secrets of my heart to yours, secrets that those who have had it easy will never get to hear. I am preparing you to be a mother who doesn't just raise a child, but who raises a miracle with the wisdom of one who has walked through the fire and come out smelling like heaven. The friends who have gone before you cannot give you the depth I am currently depositing within you. They cannot teach you the resilience you are gaining in this solitude. I am saturating your spirit with a compassion for the broken and the waiting that will make you a beacon of hope for generations to come. You are becoming a wellspring of comfort. When you eventually hold your child, you will not look back at this time with bitterness for what you lacked, but with profound gratitude for the intimacy we forged in the dark. I am not just a God who gives gifts. I am a God who stays through the night. I am staying with you through every negative test, every monthly reminder of what is not yet, and every heavy-hearted prayer whispered into your pillow. I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother, the father who holds your hand when the path is steep and the critics are loud. Your heart is being stretched not to break it, but to expand its capacity to hold the weight of the glory that is coming. You are being refined in the crucible of the waiting so that you can reflect my image perfectly to the child I am bringing. Do not look to the left or to the right. Do not compare your not yet to their already. Your story is distinct, written with a golden pen by a hand that never makes a mistake. I am the God of the barren who becomes a joyful mother of children, but before the joy of the child, I give you the joy of my spirit. Drink deeply of me now, for I am the water you have been thirsting for. Let my love settle the turbulence of your mind and the ache in your soul. You are cherished, you are seen, and you are being prepared for a beauty that will far outweigh the pain of the wait. You are not alone in this room. I have locked the door from the inside so that we can have this time together, just you and me, before the world demands your attention as a mother. This is our holy season. This is the time where you learn that I am enough. Receive my peace, for it is the bridge between your promise and your manifestation. The world may see you as waiting, but I see you as becoming. And in your becoming, I am your greatest reward. Now, as we sit in this sacred stillness, I want to turn your gaze toward the root of the tree from which you come. Do not be afraid to look back, for I am standing between you and the shadows of your past. You have often felt as though you were walking in a path already trodden by the feet of those who came before you, feet that were heavy with the dust of disappointment and the weight of unfulfilled longing. You have watched the women in your line struggle, and in the quiet of the night, a whisper has tried to convince you that their story is your destiny. But I am here to tell you that I am the author of your days, and I do not write in echoes. I do not repeat the chapters of sorrow. Your mother's tears were seen by me, and your grandmother's silent endurance was recorded in my book, but their limitations are not your boundaries. I am the God who breaks the iron bars of generational delay. I am the one who steps into the timeline of a family and says, from this point forward, everything changes. I am lifting the veil of inherited sorrow that has covered your family for generations. Where there was a pattern of barrenness, I am planting a garden of abundance. Where there was a history of loss, I am establishing a legacy of life. I am looking at the spiritual landscape of your heritage, and I am removing every stone of stumbling that hindered those who came before you. You are not a prisoner of your DNA, nor are you a victim of your family's history. You are a child of my kingdom, and my blood runs through your spiritual veins, carrying the promise of eternal fruitfulness. I am breaking every spiritual barrier that has stood as a wall between you and the promise I gave you. These barriers, some built by the words of others and some by the fears of your own heart, are crumbling at the sound of my voice. I am silencing every word spoken against your womb, every label of incapable, every diagnosis of impossible, and every curse of empty. These words have no power in the presence of the word that spoke the stars into existence. I am erasing the decrees of the past and writing a new decree over your life. You are fruitful. You are a bringer of life. You are the portal through which my blessings will flow into the earth. Your lineage begins anew with my blessing today. Think of a river that has been blocked by debris for years. I am the hand that clears the way, allowing the water to rush forth with new strength. The struggles of those who walked before you were not meant to be your inheritance. They were the labor pains for the miracle I am now birthing through you. I am sanctifying your womb as a holy ground, separate and set apart from the trials of your ancestors. The baby that is coming to you will not carry the spirit of heaviness that plagued your lineage. Instead, this child will be a bearer of light, a testament to the fact that I am the God of the new. I am making all things new within you. I am resetting the biological and spiritual clock of your life. Do not look to the left or the right to see what happened to others. Look only at me, for I am doing a work that has never been done in your family before. I am the God who makes a way where there was no way, and I am making a way through the very places that once seemed closed. Every barrier of shame is being dissolved in the ocean of my love. Every wall of fear is being leveled by my peace. You are being released from the expectations of the world and the limitations of your history. Your fruitfulness is not a reward for your perfection, but a manifestation of my grace. I am your Father, and it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And in that kingdom, life reigns supreme. I am breathing life into every dormant cell and every sleeping promise. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God who visited Sarah in her old age and Hannah in her bitterness. I am the same God, and I am visiting you now. Your lineage is being rewritten in the heavens, and the names of those who come after you will be called blessed because you believed. The cycle of barrenness ends with you. The cycle of life begins with you. You are the bridge to a new generation that will know me from their earliest breath. Rest in the authority of my promise. The barriers are gone. The words are canceled. The path is clear. Your womb is ready, for I have prepared it with my own hands. Your lineage starts today, fresh and vibrant, under the canopy of my favor. I am the God of the new beginning, and you are my chosen vessel for this miracle. I know the questions that have flickered like dying candles in the dark hours of your soul. I have heard the silent why that has escaped your lips when you looked at empty cradles or felt the weight of another month's disappointment. My beloved, listen to the heartbeat of your Father, for I want to pull back the veil and show you the architecture of this waiting. You have viewed this season as a desert, a place of lack and longing, but I have viewed it as a womb of a different kind, a spiritual womb where your character, your faith, and your very essence were being formed for the weight of the glory that is about to be revealed in you. The wait has felt long not because I was hesitant, nor because I was withholding, but because I was strengthening your spirit to become a vessel that can carry the magnitude of the miracle I am bestowing upon you. If I had given you the promise before you were ready to hold the giver more than the gift, the blessing would have become a burden that could have crushed you. I was not ignoring your cries. I was answering the deeper prayer of your destiny. I have been deepening your roots so that when the harvest comes, no storm can uproot you or the generation that follows. I was training your ears to hear my voice above the clamor of the world's expectations. In the quiet of the not yet, I was teaching you that your worth is not found in your fruitfulness, but in your identity as my cherished daughter. I had to strip away the layers of performance and the pressure to prove yourself so that when your child arrives, they will meet a mother who is already whole, already complete, and already resting in the sufficiency of my love. Think of the diamond, my child. It is not formed in the sunshine, but under the immense pressure of the hidden places. I was using the pressure of this weight to turn the coal of your sorrow into the diamond of a faith that cannot be shaken. I have also been working in the secret chambers of your relationships. I have been strengthening the bond between you and your partner, weaving a cord of 3 strands that cannot be easily broken. I wanted your home to be more than just a house. I wanted it to be a sanctuary, a hallowed ground where my presence is the primary atmosphere. This child you carry will be a child of promise, and they will need a foundation of peace, not a foundation of frantic striving. I was quieting your heart so that you could quiet theirs. I was teaching you how to lean on me so that they could learn how to lean on you. This was never a punishment. Never let the enemy whisper that your delay was a sign of my displeasure. I do not use your womb as a bargaining chip for your behavior. I am not a God who trades miracles for merit. This preparation was an act of the highest honor. I have trusted you with a difficult path because I knew the beauty of the destination would require a heart that has been tempered by the fire. You are being prepared to raise a world changer, a carrier of light, a soul who will need to see the reflection of my strength in your eyes. Every tear you shed has been stored in my bottle, and every one of those tears has watered the soil of your spirit, making it rich and fertile for the seeds of wisdom you will one day plant in your child's heart. I have been removing the thorns of fear that were passed down to you from previous generations. I have been healing the inner child within you so that you do not parent from a place of your own unhealed wounds. I was making you the first of a new kind of mother in your bloodline, a mother who is anchored in the eternal and not the temporary. You are being prepared to host a miracle that is bigger than just a physical birth. You are hosting a shift in your family's history. The silence was my workshop. I was smoothing out the rough edges of your impatience and polishing the mirror of your soul so that when you look at your child, you will see my glory reflected back at you. I am the God of the process as much as I am the God of the product. In the seasons where you felt forgotten, I was actually paying the closest attention to the intricate details of your inner transformation. I was building a capacity in you to love without possession, to guide without control, and to trust without seeing. These are the qualities of the kingdom mothers, the ones who raise children who will not just survive the world but change it. The wait has been your training ground for the supernatural. You have learned how to pray when there was no visible answer, and that prayer life will be the mantle you pass down to the one who is coming. You have learned how to worship in the hallway, and that worship will be the lullaby you sing over the miracle in your arms. Do not look back at the years of waiting with regret, for they have endowed you with a spiritual wealth that no quick blessing could ever provide. You are standing at the threshold of the suddenly, but you are standing there with a strength you didn't have when you first began this journey. This is the beauty of my timing. It is not just about bringing a child into the world. It is about bringing a child into a world where you are ready to be the anchor they need. The sanctuary is now ready. The foundation is deep. The walls are strong. The spirit is resilient. The wait is over, and the realization of the promise is at the door. You have been refined into gold, and now you will see that the time was never wasted. It was invested. You are not just becoming a parent, you are becoming a legacy. Your womb is ready because your heart has finally become a dwelling place for my peace, and that peace will be the first language your child ever learns. Now that your heart is a sanctuary of my peace, I invite you to take up the scepter I have placed in your hands, your voice. For as I spoke the stars into the velvet dark and commanded the dry land to appear from the deep, so have I given you the breath of life to shape the reality of your own body. Your tongue is not merely a muscle for tasting or a tool for casual conversation. It is the rudder of your destiny, the pen of a ready writer that is currently etching a new story onto the tablets of your soul. For too long you have echoed the reports of the world. You have repeated the words infertile, unexplained, barren, and not yet, until they became a thick fog obscuring the horizon of my promise. But today I am teaching you a new vocabulary. I am calling you to come into alignment with the sound of heaven. When I look at you, I do not see a woman waiting for a miracle. I see the mother of nations. I do not see an empty house. I see a nursery filled with the laughter of the promise realized. It is time for your mouth to say what I say. It is time for your voice to vibrate with the frequency of life, shaking the foundations of the stagnation that has tried to claim you. Listen to my voice as I speak over you, and then you must learn to speak it over yourself. Do not wait for the physical weight of a child in your arms to change your confession. Change your confession, and the child will come. I am teaching you how to call those things that be not as though they were. When you wake in the morning, do not sigh at the emptiness of the day. Instead, lay your hand upon your womb, that sacred ground I am tilling, and say with the authority of a daughter of the King, I am a joyful mother of children. My womb is a fruitful vine. My body is in perfect harmony with the rhythm of God's creation. You are not lying, you are prophesying. You are not pretending, you are partaking in the creative act of faith. Every word you speak in alignment with my promise is a seed planted in the spiritual realm, and these seeds are beginning to sprout in the unseen. Do not let the vocabulary of the desert stay on your lips. The desert says, I am dry, but the Spirit says, rivers are breaking out in the wasteland. The world says, your clock is ticking, but I say, I am the Lord of time, and I am making all things new. Replace every clinical term that has caused you grief with the living word that brings you hope. When the enemy whispers the word empty, you shout the word overflow. When the shadows of doubt suggest never, you declare suddenly. You must speak to your own cells, for they are listening to the vibration of your spirit. Speak to your hormones and command them to find their divine balance. Speak to your reproductive system and tell it to wake up, for the master of life has entered the room. You are not a victim of biology. You are a participant in a miracle. As you speak life, you are clearing the atmosphere of your home. You are creating a climate where a soul can comfortably descend and take root. Your words are the warmth that incubates the promise. If you continue to speak the language of the barren, you build a fence around your own blessing. But when you speak the language of the joyful mother, you tear down every wall. Practice this language until it feels more natural than your native tongue. Let the phrase, I am a mother, become the song you hum while you work and the prayer you whisper as you fall asleep. You are conditioning your heart to receive. You are teaching your body to expect. You are preparing the guest room of your life for the most precious visitor you will ever host. Remember, my child, your words have the power to bind and the power to loose. Loose the life that I have already placed within the promise. Bind the voices of despair that seek to silence your praise. Your tongue is the instrument through which my power is channeled into your physical world. When you speak my words, you are releasing my very breath into your circumstances. This is how the desert blooms. This is how the dry bones live. This is how your womb becomes the garden of my delight. Speak, my beloved, and watch as the darkness flees before the light of your declaration. As you release these words of life from your tongue, let them also wash over the one who stands beside you in this journey, for I am now turning my attention to the sacred bond of your union. Behold, I am doing a work not only in your body, but in the very heart of your relationship. I have seen the quiet tension that has built like a wall between you and your beloved. I have watched as the intimacy I designed for joy and connection has slowly been redefined by the clinical demands of the calendar and the heavy weight of expectation. For too long, your union has felt like a laboratory, a place of measurement and assessment rather than a sanctuary of rest and reflection. I am here to dismantle the machinery of stress that has overtaken your home. I am removing the label of task from the act of creation and restoring the gift of love to its rightful place. My child, the child I am bringing to you is not meant to be the savior of your marriage, but the fruit of its wholeness. I want your little one to be conceived in an atmosphere that reflects my own heart, an atmosphere of pure, unforced, and divine affection. I am healing the wounds of disappointment that have caused you both to pull away in silence. I am washing away the bitterness that rises when another month passes without the news you crave. I see the unspoken blame, the feelings of inadequacy, and the exhaustion that has settled in your bones. Tonight, I am breathing my peace into your bedroom. I am making it a garden again, a place where you can walk with each other and with me without the pressure of performance. Look upon your partner not as a co-laborer in a difficult struggle, but as the one I have given you to cherish. I am softening the edges of your frustration. I am teaching you to see one another through my eyes once more, beyond the biological clock and the medical reports. I am restoring the laughter that has been silenced by the tears of longing. I want you to rediscover the wonder of each other, for in your love for one another, you manifest a glimpse of my love for the world. Let the striving cease. I am taking the burden of making a miracle off your shoulders, for miracles are my specialty alone. Your role is to love, to abide, and to rest in the sanctuary of your partnership. I am healing the heart of your spouse as well, touching those hidden places of grief they have not known how to voice. I am binding up the brokenness in your communication, replacing the language of cycles and symptoms with the language of adoration and delight. As you enter into this new season of healing, you will find that the physical union becomes a prayer of gratitude rather than a plea for intervention. I am creating a soft place for a new soul to land. A child who is born into a home where love is a vibrant, living thing is a child who will grow in the security of my grace. Do not let the pursuit of the promise cause you to forget the person who walks this path with you. I am weaving your hearts together with a threefold cord that cannot be easily broken, making your marriage a fortress of hope. I am removing the shadows of fear and the ghosts of past disappointments. I am making all things new. Feel my warmth surrounding your home, driving out the coldness of clinical routine. Let your love become an altar where you offer up your trust to me. As you rediscover the joy of your first love, you are preparing the most beautiful soil for the seed of life I am planting. This miracle is not a transaction. It is a transformation. It is the overflow of my goodness into the space you have cleared through your devotion to one another. Rest in each other's arms and know that I am there in the midst of you, smiling upon your union, for you are my children, and I am the author of your story. The peace I give you is not dependent on the result of a test, but on the reality of my presence. Be still, beloved, and watch as I turn your desert of striving into a lush paradise of divine connection. Now, my beloved, I invite you to take a step that might seem foolish to the world, but is a profound melody in my ears. I am calling you to move beyond the internal landscape of prayer and into the tangible world of expectation. Do not wait for the physical confirmation of a sign before you begin to prepare the nursery of your heart and your home. I want you to go, with a heart full of trembling joy, and purchase the first pair of tiny shoes or a soft, knit blanket. Let your fingers brush against the fabric, and let your eyes behold the smallness of it, for in that smallness lies the greatness of my promise. This is not a gesture of presumption, but an act of prophetic obedience. When you hold that item, you are saying to the unseen realms, I believe the word of my Father more than I believe the silence of my body. This is the essence of calling those things that are not as though they were. You are mirroring my own creative power. When the earth was void and dark, I did not speak of the darkness, I called for the light. I did not wait for the sun to exist before I declared its radiance. So it is with you. You are not waiting for a baby to believe in life. You are believing in life so that the child may come. Every time you look at those shoes, do not see a void, see a resting place. Every time you touch that blanket, do not hear the silence of an empty hallway. Hear the rhythmic patter of feet that I am currently crafting in the secret place of my design. The world measures time by the ticking of the clock and the turning of the calendar pages, and I know how those cycles have felt like a weight upon your soul. Each month that passes has felt like a closing door, a heavy sigh of disappointment. But I am asking you to stop looking at the calendar and start listening to my heartbeat. My timing is not a sequence of numbers. It is a symphony of readiness. I am not slow in keeping my promise. I am precise. I am orchestrating the atoms of the universe and the cellular movements of your body to align with the moment of my choosing. Trust my pulse, for it beats with an unchanging love for you. The calendar is a map of human limitations, but my heartbeat is the drum of eternity. When you align your expectation with my rhythm, the pressure of when begins to melt away into the peace of He is faithful. I am the one who breathes life into the dust, who brings water from the rock, and who opens the womb that the world called closed. Your faith is the bridge between the invisible promise and the visible miracle. Do not be afraid of the not yet. The not yet is simply the space where I am doing my most intricate work. Think of the seed beneath the winter soil. Though you see no green shoot, the life within is surging, fueled by the nutrients I have provided. Your season of waiting has not been a season of wasting. It has been a season of strengthening the roots of your soul so that when the fruit comes, it will be sustained by a foundation that cannot be shaken. So, buy that first garment. Hold it to your chest. Let your tears of hope fall upon it, for I am bottling every one of them. I am not a God who mocks his children with false hopes. I am the God who fulfills the desires he himself placed within you. The desire for this child is not a random longing. It is a divine deposit, a holy hunger that I intend to satisfy. Walk into that store not as a seeker of shadows, but as an inheritor of light. Speak to your body, not with the language of medical reports or past failures, but with the language of my spirit. Tell your womb it is a garden of the Lord, blessed and fertile. Tell your heart it is the dwelling place of the Most High, where miracles are birthed daily. As you prepare the physical space, you are expanding the spiritual capacity to receive. This is your time of transition. The atmosphere is shifting around you. Can you feel the breeze of my spirit moving through the rooms of your house? It is the wind of change, the breath of life, and it is blowing directly toward you. Rest in the certainty that I am moving. Do not let the ticking of the clock drown out the whisper of my promise. I am here, I am active, and I am bringing to pass that which I have spoken over your life. You are not alone in this wait. I am waiting with you, and my joy will be your strength as we walk toward the morning of your miracle together. Imagine, my beloved child, the silence of a morning that begins like any other, yet vibrates with an unseen frequency of fulfillment. There will come a moment, closer than you can currently perceive, when the ordinary air of your home becomes charged with the weight of my glory. You will stand in that small, quiet space, the very place where you have so often wept in secret and searched for signs of hope, and you will hold the evidence of my word in your trembling hands. In that singular instant, as your eyes fix upon the two lines or the word pregnant, that has felt like a distant mirage for so long, the world will seem to fall silent. The ticking of the clock, which once sounded like a countdown of your fears, will suddenly harmonize with the steady rhythm of my heart beating for you. In that second, a peace that surpasses all human logic will flood your veins, washing away the residue of every disappointment you have ever carried. It will not be a frantic, chaotic excitement at first, but a deep, resonant yes from the depths of your soul, answering the yes. I have spoken over your life from the foundations of the world. You will realize with a clarity that only truth can bring that I was never late, I was never absent, and I was never indifferent to your cry. You will see that I was faithful all along, weaving together a tapestry of life even when you could only see the tangled threads of the underside. The wait, which felt like an eternity of desert wandering, will suddenly shrink until it is nothing more than a thin shadow cast by the blinding radiance of this new dawn. Just as the rising sun dissolves the thickest mist of the valley, this moment of realization will dissolve the memory of the sting of barrenness. You will look back at the seasons of sorrow, the medical reports that felt like death sentences, and the quiet nights of questioning my timing, and you will see them transformed. They will no longer be scars of defeat, but the very soil in which the roots of your miracle grew deep and strong. I am painting this picture for you now because I want you to breathe in the atmosphere of your future. I want you to taste the sweetness of that coming peace today. The light of that moment is so bright that it is already reaching back into your present, illuminating your current darkness. When you see that positive result, your first instinct will be to fall to your knees, not in a plea for mercy, but in a surrender of praise. You will feel my arms around you, more tangible than ever before, whispering into your spirit, "See, I have done it. I have kept my promise." The exhaustion of the journey will fall away from you like a heavy cloak, replaced by a strength you did not know you possessed, the strength of a mother who has seen the hand of God move on her behalf. This is the transition from hoping to knowing. You will walk out of that room a different person, for the weight you have carried is no longer the weight of an empty womb, but the glorious weight of my presence taking physical form within you. The light of this realization will be so intense that the years of waiting will seem like but a moment, a brief interval of preparation for a lifetime of joy. I have been preparing you for the magnitude of this peace, for I do not want you just to have a child. I want you to have the revelation of my unfailing love that comes through this miracle. Every tear you shed in the darkness has been bottled, and in that moment of discovery, I will pour them back out as a refreshing rain of grace. You will know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am the God who brings life from the dead and calls into being things that were not. Rest now in the certainty of this coming morning. Let the anticipation of that rush of peace settle your heart. The shadow is fleeting, but the light is eternal, and it is breaking over the horizon of your life even as I speak these words to you. Your womb is no longer a place of absence, but a sanctuary of my promise. And soon, very soon, the evidence of my faithfulness will be the very breath of the new life growing within you. I do not merely open the doors of your womb and then step back into the heavens, watching from a distance as your body transforms. I am not a God who initiates a miracle only to leave the details of its growth to chance. As I have been with you in the long, parched seasons of waiting, so I will be with you in every miraculous inch of the unfolding. From the very moment the spark of life is ignited within you, my hand will be the one that knits together the intricate patterns of your child's heart, the one that weaves the delicate threads of their mind, and the one that sustains the breath you share. You have walked the valley of lack for so long that the arrival of abundance may feel overwhelming, but do not fear. I am moving you from the miracle of the promise to the miracle of the presence, and I will be the constant companion of your journey through every stage of this new life. When the first signs of this life begin to manifest within you, when your body begins to shift and stretch to accommodate the weight of my glory, I will be there to steady your spirit. When the mornings feel heavy and your strength feels small, lean into me. I am the one who designed the vessel of your body to carry this specific treasure. I have tailored this miracle for your unique frame, and I will provide the supernatural energy you need to sustain it. You will not walk this path in exhaustion or anxiety, for I am breathing my rest into your very bones. Every time you feel that first flutter of movement, let it be a secret signal between us, a reminder that I am a keeper of promises, a God who acts on behalf of those who wait for him. I will be in the room when you hear the rhythm of that tiny heartbeat for the first time, and in that sound, you will hear the echo of my own heart beating for you. But my commitment to you goes far beyond the months of gestation. I will be the peace that fills the room when the hour of delivery arrives. Do not let the stories of others or the shadows of the past cloud your vision of that day. I will be your strength when your own strength fails. I will be the calm in the midst of the transition. I will hold your hand through the labor, and I will be the first to welcome that new soul into the light of the world. In that moment when they place that child upon your chest, when you feel the warmth of answered prayer against your skin, you will know a joy that swallows up every year of sorrow you have ever endured. The barrenness will be forgotten, not because it didn't happen, but because the fullness of the present is so great that it leaves no room for the ghosts of the past. And when you return home, when the house is no longer quiet and the nights are no longer empty, I will be there in the stillness of the midnight hour. In those sleepless nights when the world is hushed and you are cradling the miracle I gave you, I will be sitting in the chair beside you. When you are tired and the demands of motherhood feel heavy, I will pour my grace into you like a fountain. I will give you wisdom to nurture, patience to lead, and a love that reflects my own. Your miracle is not just a singular event. It is a lifetime of my presence manifested in flesh and blood. You were chosen for this. I did not pick you by accident, nor did I grant this miracle because of your perfection. I chose you because I love you, and because I saw in you a heart capable of reflecting my glory in a way no one else could. You are my daughter, my beloved, and the miracle that is now in motion is the seal of my covenant with you. The gears of heaven have already turned. The word has been spoken, and the spiritual realm is already vibrating with the reality of what is about to manifest in your physical body. Do not look at the calendar, and do not look at your own limitations. Look only at me. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who was, and is to come. I have already seen you holding your child. I have already seen you laughing in the years to come as you watch them grow. The future you feared would never happen is already my present reality. Rest in this certainty. Let the tension leave your shoulders and the doubt leave your mind. Your womb is blessed, your fruit is holy, and your testimony will be a light to the thousands who are still waiting in their own shadows. I am with you now, I will be with you then, and I will be with you forever. Your miracle is in motion. Believe me.